What's up YouTube, it's Matthew here. In today's video, I'm going to go over different Propstream lists that I see is worth targeting this month and essentially the whole year of 2023. I've done a little bit of research for you all to look at mortgage rates, look at foreclosure rates, look at just how people are buying homes these days, how's the inventory levels, and what investors are doing right now in today's market. So I've done all the research, so you don't necessarily have to do the research and just watch this video and target these different lists on Propstream in your real estate investing journey, whether you're wholesaling, flipping properties, or looking for rentals. Make sure you like this video and comment down below the different lists you're going to target, and be sure to check out Propstream down below with my link. You get a 7 free day trial. I'll put the link in the description and the first comment down below. So make sure you support this channel by clicking that link and signing up with Propstream. All right, so I'm straight to it. I'm on Propstream. So right here you have the map. I selected a city, Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where a lot of investor activity is at the moment, the Southeast. And I think most investors are looking for these singles right now. They're just looking for base hits at the moment. They're not looking for home runs. They're not looking for huge multifamilies with, 100 units at the moment, because right now interest rates are high, just the down payment requirements and the things of that and different things like that. It's just heavy on an investor at the moment. So I think a lot of investors are going to single families, right? You have even big time investment groups like BlackRock and these different companies going to single family portfolios, buying whole single family portfolios out and managing them on their own. And even like investors who are just, mid-sized, they're not part of a huge company, they're just going for these singles. Just so they can hold on to something that people are looking for, a nice home with a backyard and things of that nature, and just their own space. So here on Propstream, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down to filters, and I'm going to keep owner occupied, occupancy status, any. And I've noticed that with me, one of the best lists is just high equity list, right? Yes, you can mess around with all the filters, and we'll do that with a few of these other lists. But I've noticed if you just go out there and you target as many people with high equity that own the property for a couple years, yes, it's super broad, but you'll hit everyone that you need to hit, right? You're going to hit a tired landlord in that list. You're going to hit maybe some pre-foreclosures in that list. Maybe you're going to hit, just the different other lists are going to be hit in that list, right? If you have the budget to target a bigger list like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go first to ownership information, and I'm going to put the minimum year 7 years. I want this to be a property owner that owned this property for a couple of years. The other thing is that I just want to target individual. I'm not looking for a landlord or a big time investor at the moment. The other thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to go up here to property characteristic, and I'm just going to look for these criteria. So single family, condo, multifamily 2 to 4, and then you can click multifamily 5+. I don't think that brings you into like the larger units, like the 100 unit apartment complexes and things of that nature. So it's relatively under, like maybe 10 or 20, maybe the highest one that you're probably going to drill from this list, right? And then we're going to go to valuation and equity information. And then from here, I want my estimated equity to be at least 50%. In order to wholesale property, there has to be equity in this list. Now, boom, it's 121,000 properties that fit this criteria. But I'm looking over the whole city of Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is one of the largest cities in America, right? And so I'm going to most likely target a specific zip code in the city of Charlotte. I'm not going to target the whole city, right? Yes, you can do that. And there are big time wholesaling companies that are doing that at the moment. But here on Propstream, once again, check the link down below if you're interested. You see you have different pockets right here that you can click on, that you can check out. And it, goes over the different properties that are on this list. And then another thing on Propstream is that you can just draw where you want to target. Let's say I just wanted to target this area. So I click here. I go down, so you see the little drawing that they're doing for me, going like that. I'm going like that. And I'm just going to click search in that area. And then from there, they're pulling up properties that fit my filter criteria for me. And that was around 10,000 properties. Now, that may not fit for most people's budget, but once again, you can go in that area and select and type into Propstream a specific zip code that you want to target. So that's the first list. It's just, I know it's very broad in general, but I don't know. For some reason, I found a lot of success just looking for high equity properties. And of course, you can play around with this. You can just, instead of doing owner occupied, just be like, no, I'm just going to go for landlords. And that brings that list down to 1,200, which is very doable for a lot of beginners looking for properties. So the next list I want to target right now in 2023, especially in February, is just the list of pre-foreclosures. So if I go back to any right here, and I exit out of 50% or more, I exit out of 7-year or more, and even individual, and I go down to lien, or I go even here, right, where they have a pre-probate, they have pre-foreclosure list right here. I just click that. 10 properties. Now, this is just in that shaded area. So this is an opportunity where you can really target the whole city, right? Because Propstream's not picking up all of the pre-foreclosures that's happening. And just, in general, pre-foreclosures are down, right? Because ever since they did the moratorium, it's just been down in general. So pre-foreclosures is a great list to target on Propstream. The next list that I want to target that's cool on Propstream is this pre-probate list. And this was I guess, fairly recent, maybe within the last 2 years, they released this. And this is based off of, they look at the owners and they look at the owner's age and they see if one of the owners is deceased or was recently deceased, right? This is probate, and they probably have to go through probate and everything like that. And we know this list, pre-probate, is one of the best lists that you could target, honestly, because either there's only one single owner and the owner passed away, they had to get rid of that property some way, somehow. Or it's just one person and they need to downsize now that a loved one is gone, right? And so those conversations has to be very delicate. You can't go up on a phone, on a cold call and be like, hey, I noticed someone died. No, you just treat it like any other call. Be like, hey, is there any way I can help you out selling this house? Are you interested in selling? If they say no, you don't try to say anything about probate or anything like that. You just say, okay, if there's any chance that you interested in selling, this is my number, and different things like that. So that's another list that I like on Propstream that you can target. The other thing about Propstream, or the other list that we can target and just play around with, so I'm keeping these property types. So it's just tire landlords, right? There are a lot of landlords that are probably looking to sell, right? Because maybe they want to clear out some of their inventory so they can have cash if home prices are going to drop even more, so they can take advantage of that, right? So what I'm going to do, owner occupied, I'm going to put no. And then occupancy status, we can just leave it the same. And then you can do the ownership info. Let's say 4 years or more ownership info. And we do want their equity to be at least 30% or more. All right, and then you have it down to that. So another thing I want to show you, this is a great list to target, right? To filter it down a little bit more, and these are a little bit of tricks that I use on Propstream, is that, for example, on ownership information, you should always check include unknown sales date, because Let's say it's an older property and it just doesn't have the right documentation showing when the property was bought or sold and different things of that nature, or just paperwork issues in general, right? You have to make sure that is checked, because if it's not checked, you see, it went down by almost 1,000 properties. So make sure you check include unknown sale date. The other trick and tip, it's not really a trick or tip, that I want to talk about, and let me just decrease this a little bit more, is right here. So include unknown equity. For some reason, sometimes for paperwork issues or just recording issues, equity is not recorded properly. And so you may be missing out on some properties that are 100% owned, right? Some properties that maybe are partially owned, right? And so you have to make sure you click that if you want to get even more properties. So that brings it up like 100 more properties. So that's another trick that you can use. All right, you all, hope you all enjoyed this video of how to find properties on Propstream and just different lists, the best list to target this year in February 2023 and just in 2023 in general. Make sure you all like this video. Make sure you all check out Propstream down below, and I'll talk to you all later.